ladies, really good job connective-wise, especially in that first half. Just what did you work on from a connection standpoint after that last game when you had the 22 turnovers?
We focused a lot on defense, and we knew that if we stay connected defensively, that would transition into our offense. And I feel like that's what it did in this game, and it really benefited us in being successful.
Yeah, again, just kind of focusing on us, and just working on the basics. I think in our Temple loss and then getting back to Cornell, we were kind of straying away from catching the ball with two hands and preventing some of those turnovers were just like simple mistakes we were making. So going back to the basics is really what we focused on.
BJ, for you, this might have been one of your best all-around games, if not your best all-around game as a Duke, career highs in rebounds and assists today. Just what was it like having that mentality of just being an aggressor and being a helper out there and finding yourself too?
As mentioned before, I feel like just being connected with the team, knowing like what my strengths are, and knowing that if I'm able to contribute those strengths to the game, I'm not just helping myself, but I'm helping the team, and that's a good way for us to be successful together.
You all have worked as a team on connectivity all season, all summer. Just how has that really shown in being a cohesive group through this whole non-conference slate?
I mean, I think it translates by our record. I mean, we're 10-3 right now, and we're a very connected group, as you said. We love each other on the court and off the court, and I think that makes all the difference compared to previous years.
Test for you, 6 more threes. It's been, 13 in the last 48 hours? It's not
Literally.
Yeah.
To have that ownership of that NCAA record and showing physically that work is paying off with the number, just what does that mean for you that you're finding your success?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's awesome, but again, my teammates always get me open, and again, our inside presence with Yanni and PJ, I mean, having an inside out, I mean, that creates shots for me and then vice versa. So it really is just a team effort, and I'm thankful for my teammates who always find me and making shots.
PJ, another connection question for you. Do you think maybe a performance like today is just the comfort with yourself and the comfort in your teammates to know that you can pick each other up?
Yeah, no, we're definitely very connected, as Tess was talking about, and that helps. And I think it shows on the court, being able to find each other on the court, being confident in Tess making that shot, Lauren making that shot. It just makes it a lot easier to play together.
As a team, just with the total combination of everything, we know you guys are able to put the ball in the basket, but getting used to that pack that you guys installed off season and finding success there, just how important has that been to just find that next play and find that next stop?
It's super important. You know, like PJ said, knowing everybody's strengths and having confidence in one another. I think we went into halftime and coaches were telling us like it just looked like beautiful basketball. I mean, we were moving the ball wasn't sticking at all. I know the second half we got a little stagnant, and then of course Megan getting hurt. But I think we showed, we can push through adversity, losing our starting point guard as Coach V mentioned, and we stayed composed, and we had a couple defensive breakdowns, but we pulled away the win, and like Coach said, a win's a win, so we're happy.
Good. All right, thanks.
Thank you.
As we go into the holidays to be 10-3, it's a good position to be in. Anytime that you can win 10 non-conference games, you feel good about that. And today we started out very fast, and obviously the third and fourth quarters were not ideal by any stretch. But when you lose your point guard and your engine, your catalyst in Meg McConnell, you're going to have struggles. And we struggled without Meg being on the floor. Meg's going to be totally fine. She'll be ready for the next game. She'd be ready tomorrow, actually, or the next day. But we did struggle without her today. But kudos go to Precious Johnson with 15 points and 15 rebounds, 9 points, and 6 assists. And Tess Myers with 21 and 6. And then Lauren, had 5 rebounds and 7 points and 3 assists. And she was 2 for 5 from the three-point line, but really the other 3 that she missed were all in and out. And it's good to have her back to her normal ways.
Ladies mentioned at halftime just that you were praising the team for the collaborative effort that was the first half, just the ball moving, every pass having purpose, every shot having purpose. Just how much did you appreciate seeing that effort in front, just having that cohesive unit along the way?
The first 2 quarters were beautiful. That was beautiful basketball with the way we moved the ball. That really started in practice yesterday. We had a pretty good understanding of how they were going to defend us, and we ran a split action that they didn't guard well. And then in transition, they had a hard time finding our shooters, and most of our threes actually came out of transition in those first 2 quarters. Coach Grace for Howard's a good coach. I remember from her assistant days at Army, she made some adjustments at halftime, and we weren't quite as good as what we needed to be. We didn't score the ball in the paint like we needed to. We got a little 3 happy, and then the biggest thing was we missed Meg. Meg's the engine.
10 wins non-conference, obviously that's kind of towards that standard that you've been referring to. Just to have that cohesion that at times has been tested and to be able to shine through that way, just how much do you appreciate the effort these ladies have put in through these first dozen or plus games?
They're great women. I love this group, every single one of them. They're really good human beings. They make it fun to come to work every day. We have a very cohesive group. We have a group that is pretty special. We've had more talented teams. I don't know if we've had a more cohesive team. We have a chance to do some really special things. But we come back after Christmas and we're 0-0. And we have a very tough first game in Rhode Island.
When you mentioned cohesion, Dan, just how much can cohesion maybe be a difference maker as opposed to the talent that you've mentioned before, and just making sure that results in the result you want at the end of each game?
Yeah, anytime you have players playing for one another, you can have a lot of success, and that can overcome talent to a certain degree. We had been a 6-person rotation for most of the non-conference, and we're really trying to work to get Riley and Liv Westfall and Anaya Walker and Singo up to where they can contribute. And Lauren has made that jump. Lauren has made that jump, and she's someone that we can count on now to give us quality minutes. And when you have women or men, whoever it may be, when you have a team that will fight for one another and not just fight for one another, but cheer for one another and be happy for each other's success, that's a great starting point.
That kind of dovetails into the next question, Dan, about Lauren. Just obviously there's been ups and downs injury-wise, minutes-wise, all the other X factors that are there. Just how impressed are you by her resolve and her ability to just find herself and find her role within this team?
Lauren is an incredibly hard worker. And if there was, really one kid on the team that we thought that may coach after she's done playing, it's Lauren. She has a very strong sense of self-worth and belief in herself, but it was tested, with the various injuries that she's had and not coming back and shooting it the way she's normally accustomed to. Today and in our last game, shooting the ball, and then in practice the way she has been, she's feeling a lot better about herself, and we're excited where she's going.
You mentioned Meg in the opening remark. How much, you said she'd get back tomorrow. I'm assuming it was precautionary, and just how much of a learning lesson was it just maybe having that extended stretch of not having her on the floor and finding ways to counter?
Well, when you don't have her on the floor, you play with a freshman who's played limited minutes, and that's not fair to Riley. We're inserting her into a tough position, and we've got to get Riley up to speed and get her to where there's not a lot of drop off. Meg's the best point guard in the Atlantic 10. You could arguably say, she's a statistical leader in so many different categories. So, when you take her off the floor, it's going to hurt. Riley's got to be able to come in and just kind of stem the tide, I guess, and be able to run the team. And today she was okay doing that, but we've got to continue to get her better. We're also using Amaya Hamilton at point guard, and that's interesting. I like it. I think there's some good things there, and I think Amaya did a nice job in the time that she played point.
20 assists on 23 made field goals, Dan. We've talked about the connectivity, but just to see it be that much in your face and that present throughout means what to you? 20 assists on 23 buckets, I mean, that tells you about the cohesion of this team and them playing for one another. It also tells you about this team that, we beat a team that went to the NCAA tournament last year by 13, and we scored 68 points. And, the locker room was a little bit disappointed, because we didn't finish well in the fourth. And, that speaks highly to who they are and what their character is. And we're excited as we go into conference. Appreciate you all supporting women's basketball. Rest in peace, Franco.